Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. And today we're with Katherine Linton from, where are you today? Are you in Los Angeles?
No, I'm in New York City.
Oh, you are in New York.
I'm in New York City,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. Well, welcome. So we're in the same
Yes.
time zone. So, but no, thanks for being here with us. And there's there's an exciting show called Prideland that is actually came out with one of the shorts last week, but is really kind of debuting for Pride Month here, starting today, June 1st. And you
Yes, it
are the
is.
producer, writer, director, or all things on this. So yeah, just tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. It's a six-part digital series that will
Yeah.
be on PBS Voices. So it's a kind of a new venture. There's a new channel that PBS has launched, digital channel
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
PBS Voices.
Yeah.
So this is launching that channel. So it's be six digital pieces spread out, one per week. The first one was released on May 26th, which was Dyllón's story. Dyllón's story with a fabulous trans woman who is the director of the Alabama HRC office,
Yeah.
Carmarian D. Anderson. So it's Dyllón's story, how he came to this, how he's Southern, how his own experience, and then why he's interested in going back, and then meeting Carmarian. So the digital episodes have different themes going forward, and I encourage people to look at that. And then there's the hour-long broadcast, which is our full on hosted by Dyllón. We took we picked, that's where we shot the digital pieces as well. So it's formatted differently because it's the hour long broadcast, and that is on June 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Check your local listings.
Your local PBS listings. No, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What's interesting?
So it was. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Go on.
I was just going to say what's interesting is just that I find it's probably even more poignant today that here we are, June 1st, the launch of Pride Month. And a lot of organizations, they had all these plans for what they were going to say starting June 1st. And then they didn't anticipate that there was going to be all these protests, and there was just such unrest in the country over the past weekend. And it seems that, but with Dyllón and being an openly gay Black man from the South, from Pensacola, Florida, and then telling his story debuting today, actually seems like it may be a bit more spot on than some of the other programming that we're going to be seeing here.
Yes, I hope so. It was really our intent then was to really look at and from a personal perspective, and that's what made Dyllón so fantastic as the host of this, because he is from Pensacola, right? Yeah. Because he is a Black gay man from Pensacola, Florida, so he has his own Southern experiences, and then he was a very religious Black gay man in Pensacola, so the story is that he gets kicked out of his church that he was the worship leader of, before, following his dreams to be an actor, and everybody now knows him as being on Pose. But the journey was to find out how people are doing, how LGBTQ plus people are doing in the South when they have the harshest laws against them. When we talk about civil rights, I mean, all that we're seeing is about people who are not able to enjoy the rights that they deserve as American citizens, the equal rights, the fair treatment, and so that's what we went to find out. And definitely there is, issues of still racism and a racial divide, and Dyllón brings that up in the show. That isn't what we were setting out to look for. It's what he felt. And I sort of gave him a heads up. I've spent a lot of time in the South, and I was like, I'm curious, if you see what I see, but as a white woman, so
wow,
I'm not sure if I answered your question.
No, it's just and the episode that's coming up this week, I think, is the one with his pastor, correct? Is it his?
No, that's not his pastor. That's no, his pastor would not. No, in fact, when we did take him to we were in Pensacola when we shot his story, and we were outside the church that fired him. He was uncomfortable even getting out of the car. He's still so angry about that experience. So No, and I'm sure they would not have welcomed talking to him.
Ugh.
Who he was an openly gay pastor of a Presbyterian church in Jackson, Florida, which is in itself, I did a film 10 years ago called Mississippi I Am, and we found one gay church that we could go in. We were the first media to be allowed into that church. Underground, like faith and gay was not considered to be said in the same sentence. Right. Yeah. So, and still many people believe that, that there's you cannot be both. You cannot be gay and Christian, right? So the idea that there's a Jackson pastor openly gay was amazing. And Dyllón did sit down with him and was able to have a long talk with him and say, you've been accepted. That isn't most people's experience. Yeah. So it's an honest, that's what was so great about Dyllón. He was so honest. He was he was such a great person to be on that journey with, Yeah. I adore him. I've said this, I will say this in every media interview. He's wonderful.
I think that came through. I think what you're saying came through in the I watched the video, the first short this morning, and I saw that as well.
Yeah.
But you've got quite a history in LGBT and television, and you were there at the very beginnings with Logo, and their what was that called? The very first show, Evolution of
The Evolution will be televised. Yes. Before that, I was the host and producer of In the Life, which was on PBS for 21 years.
I remember In the Life.
Yeah. So in 1993, I started hosting. Oh, so wow. That show was on for 21 years. I was hosting for 9 and then produced it for about 7 or 8 of those years. So I began early. I mean, I started on television. And producing it, and that was actually the bigger role that I played. Yes, I was the host, but it was more, and that was so I've watched our community grow and change, and I'm continually frustrated when I see that there's so many things that haven't changed. Our homeless rates have not gone down, right? There are things that have not changed. So having been working on telling the story of our community since 1993, I'm amazed by us, and I'm still so pissed off that we have to deal with the homophobia and the laws that have not changed, so it's amazing for this particular show to have gone back to the South, because I've been to the South, like I said, done other LGBTQ projects in the South, but to see that that there's still the fear that and it's not just the South, but that you can get fired. Simply that you can get fired for being openly queer. I know. So that to me is still so I feel like I'm in this 25 years, and it's like, come on people, we can do this.
Gay marriage felt so wonderful, when
I say, it's sort of like, right now when you see the demonstrations, it's on us white people to fix the racism, right? So when I say, come on, people, I mean, come on, homophobes. Come on, people who think that they have to keep us, to take away or not just give us rights to begin with, right? Or to practice homophobia. So I feel like it's on you. It's on you, the homophobes, just as racism is on, not for the African American community to solve. That's for us to solve. So when I say come on, I mean come on, people.
I know. Well, especially like I said, very poignant this past weekend, and I always feel like it does get better, but it's a process, and I'm so happy that in 2013 I got married, and yes. so many things had progressed, and we felt like we were going so fast and furious, and things were just in the right direction. But I think we've been reminded over the last few years that we have a lot of work to do, including, like you said.
And that's a beautiful thing. Like last June, my company released Rebellion Stonewall, which we did it. We looked at basically almost 70 years of our movement, with full-on 2 acts of recreations of Stonewall. We did the whole thing for MSNBC, and so we had to write and encapsulate our movement. And it is remarkable in a short amount of time how far we've come, because most people do not want to discriminate against us, do not think it's right. That's a sea change. And we've done that by being visible. We've done that by coming out. We've done the marriage movement had to be about, well, I just don't think it's kind of right that my aunt, Joe and her girlfriend Sally can't get married. That's what it came down to, people knowing us. Yeah. So media, that's why I've always believed in media, and I've always believed in our visibility, Yeah.
Well, I think it's wonderful what you've created, and I encourage everyone to make sure to tune in on PBS this week and all the way through June, because like you said, there's multiple episodes, multiple shorts on YouTube, and then the big one on for the 1 hour in June 12th.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 6 episodes till the end of June, and then hopefully people will watch the one on June 12th. I'm very proud of that. Yep. I should know this. It's available on PBS online afterwards.
Good. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, I look forward to checking it out, and I really thank you for taking a few moments to share your story here with us.
Oh, thank you for considering reaching out and giving us a little bit of a heads up on Prideland. We're very proud of it.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right.